Welcome all to July, the National Minority Mental Health Awareness Month, where we want to acknowledge the unique struggles that racial and ethnic minority communities face regarding mental illness in the United States. While we just don't comprise this topic just for hospitals, we would like to throw some spotlight on workplaces and entrepreneurship as well. So I have Michelle Akawa with me now. Michelle is founder and CEO of Vendors, an app that helps companies to secure their spots for any events. Michelle is an inspiration for all the women as she chose to take an unconventional path of becoming an entrepreneur, and with so much persistence, she's moving forward. As a Hispanic woman, she's trying to break barriers in the business world. Hey, Michelle, welcome to our Spotlight series with She Jobs.
Hi, and thank you for having me.
Great. Michelle, can you quickly talk to us on your app, Vendors?
Yeah, so Vendors is an app for pop-up events and event creators. So it allows you to easily post an event, and it could be for if you have a farmer's market or a business expo, anything like that. And it allows those vendors to easily and safely join your event. So we review all of our event creators so that vendors know that they're joining a real event. Because there's a lot of scammers out there that create fake events. And so that has kind of plagued a lot of these small businesses. So that's our solution when we build Vendors.
Awesome. That's a great solution. And I see that you are really taking it forward very well. I wish you good luck on that, Michelle. And Michelle, since this is a National Minority Mental Health Awareness Month, do you think that Latinos face the legacy and stigma of mental health issues? Because when it comes to mental health, Latino teens in the US have disproportionately high rates of depression, anxiety, and suicide attempts. What measures do you think to be taken to stop those things happening?
Yeah, so I think when it comes to the stigma of mental health and maybe even pursuing help from the Latin community, I can just speak from personal experience and other Hispanic people that I know, and I also have a teenager. I have a teenage daughter who's 15. I know a lot of her friends, and I see some of the things that they struggle with, and I would say like I said, from the stigma, is that just asking for help. It's kind of more of an idea that you just power through and you're not going to ask for help and you kind of suck it up, and it's a bit of a, you just deal with it sort of thing. And that's kind of, even for me personally growing up, that's kind of something that's kind of instilled in you. And so it's hard for a lot of people to ask for help when they need it, or they don't even really know that they need it until they really start opening up, or they have an experience, with a mental health professional, and then they go, oh man, I really needed this. And then I guess from a teen perspective, like I said, I know a lot of teenage girls struggling with all of the pressures of trying to not just fit in junior high and high school, but there's just a lot of pressures when it comes to social media, trying to, you're comparing yourself constantly to what you're seeing out there. And I think it just makes a lot of these kids unhappy. And I see it all the time, and constantly comparing themselves to their friends or to to others. And I think that, like I said, getting that help for those kids, letting them talk to somebody, is like really the first step. And it could even start with the schools. Like it could start, with maybe they kind of have, grow their counselors there, to be able to handle some of that.
Yeah. And so I understand in schools, but do you think for Hispanic community, is there any discrimination in the workplace, and is there any barrier for them to get into technology industry?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I would say because because just historically there hasn't been a lot of, just in my personal experience, again, I can't speak for broadly, but personal experience, I haven't had a lot of Latino leaders in my personal work experience. And so I think being able um, to accelerate that growth and have people in leadership that you can have mentor you, and you can see that growth, and putting those people in those positions, I think is really important. Also having female leaders will also kind of encourage that inclusivity and growth in that area.
I mean, you brought a great point. I definitely did not see a lot of leaders in Latino community, at least with my experience. And Michelle, you know that She Jobs is promoting women diversity and minority and supporting minority groups like Latino and Blacks in workplace and in tech industry. So, what is your input for She Jobs, or what do you think about it?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's something that's desperately needed. It's something that should be talked about and should be encouraged. That women and minorities have a seat at the table and are part of those decision making. And part of the hiring process. All of that, it starts from the very top and it'll trickle down and it like I said, creating that inclusivity, creating the leaders that are going to move forward in the future, and do the same. So I love what you're doing. I love that it's promoting women and getting women back into the workforce, especially now, after the pandemic and with everything that's going on with childcare and inflation and the cost of living period. It's making it extremely difficult for women to get back into the workplace, and so creating a flexible work environment is also really important.
You're absolutely right. And I also think that there is a lot of upskilling and reskilling is required for the community, for women, especially in these groups like Latino and Black, because somewhere, they assume that they are not fit for the technical industry, like for technology, right? So I think that perception has to be changed is what we are really trying for. Um,
Exactly.
and Michelle, what is your advice for women entrepreneurs?
I would say don't give up. Grit. It's determination. I mean, even for myself personally, I started my journey in entrepreneurship in 2016. I just decided, I want to build my own product, and I really pursued it. And of course, I worked for others for a long time but I never really gave up on that idea, and I just kept going and making steps every day towards making that dream come true. And somehow here I am. It's just it's one day at a time, 1 year at a time. Just keep continuing to pursue what makes you happy, and build something that you're proud of. So.
Michelle, I've seen you in many places, many events, and I've really personally seen your hard work and persistence. And I'm so proud of what you are today. And you are an inspiration for me as well. Keep it going. And thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on mental health issues for Latino community and women entrepreneurs. And I definitely believe that you might be going through some personal stress, or like, at work, or like entrepreneurship. So how do you handle that?
Oh man, it's really hard sometimes. So many people will be like, oh, I do exercise, or I do this or do that. To be honest, I don't know how I do it. I don't eat great all the time. I don't sleep great all the time. It's tough. I'm not gonna lie. So, but I do try to occasionally unplug, and that's not just like I'll turn the phone off. I'll don't look at my email. As hard as it is not to, when you run your own business, it's extremely difficult to just completely turn it off. But sometimes you just have to actually completely unplug, and just take a break, even if it's just for one day. But I think that's really important for you to just do that at the very least. But yeah, it would be great if I did, exercise and all of that, but I don't do any of it. I'm not gonna lie. I figure it out, but yeah, I try to de-stress and unplug from time to time.
Awesome, Michelle. Once again, thank you for sharing those. Yes, unplugging is very important, but really, I mean, can we even unplug? Okay, I'm really scared to think even like to get unplugged even for 1 hour from my phone or from email. So, well, let's try. And then we would like to see vendors and you in great places. And I wish you good luck for everything you do. Thank you.
Same for you, Swati. Thank you so much.
Okay.